Hi, welcome to the Daiku Podcast and Daiku Game Pitch. Today, I welcome back Joey Royale, the creative mind behind Weird Heroes of Public Access, WHPA-TV13. And that's the game where you get to play a host of your very own public access TV show. And when you're not recording your niche interests show, you also get to investigate bizarre supernatural going-ons in your little small town. So, Joey, welcome.
Ciao, paisans. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Well, it's great to have you back. I really enjoyed our first conversation where we talked about the initial phases of WHPA and its creative process. And since that time, you've taken it to a whole new level, and you've got a backer kit going on right now. And why don't you just tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So this backer kit that started on October 3rd and runs to November 1st, I believe, is basically the hardcover version of Weird Heroes of Public Access, the role-playing game. What I did was I took the core zine, the pink zine, the one that started it all, and smashed it together with Tales from Fairhaven Volume 1 and 2, Station Manager's Guide, June Manifestations, and a later zine, Looking for the Magic, and just put all these resources and supplements together into one spot, in a hardcover, so you can carry it around instead of carrying around, 10 zines. So this is efficiency here.
And it's going to be a hardcover, which is always nice to have, rather than a whole bunch of zines that you throw in your backpack and they always get wrinkled up.
Yeah. I'm a zine collector, so I like to keep them nice, on the shelf. It's not something you want in your bag or your briefcase when you run around the cons. So this clocks in at about 112 pages. I took what I considered was the most polished from all those zines I mentioned and put them into one spot. And and the backer kit's going nuts. I had no idea it was going to be like this.
Well, you've already gone past a few stretch goals, which we're going to cover in a little bit later. But for those that don't know about WHPA Fairhaven, just give us a little bit of background. What is it all about, and what can you do in the game?
So here's the elevator pitch, okay? It's 1970, 1980 something. It's pre the internet as we know it, so I call it the analog era, the golden age of analog technology. And you and your pals play public access hosts in a small suburban town that is haunted by a relentless full moon. So for some reason, every night the full moon comes out. And as a result, all these strange supernatural manifestations has popped up around your beloved town. And it's up to you, the brave heroes of public access, to set out with your niche skills, be it, ventriloquism or jazzercise or something like that. And that's what you got to do. You got to go out there and save the town because the cops and the jocks aren't doing it themselves.
And how did you come up with the idea? Because I absolutely love it. And I don't even know, I'm in Canada. We didn't really have public access like the States, but we knew of it. It was like a pop culture kind of thing. Do people still do that, or are cable shows now just gone by the wayside?
Much like many of the cool things that I'm obsessed with, it's kind of disappearing into the ether with the advent of the internet. Why go to a TV station and the other side of the woods when you can just sit in your basement, like us, and do it? It's great that we have access to this, but to me, public access, you had to really try, all right? You were a weirdo. You wanted to share your weirdness with the world, and you had to invest time and training and get some other wackos to film this in a television studio for free. So there was a passion and a commitment to the outre that you wanted to showcase of yourself, all at the with the willingness or expectation that you were going to be victimized by prank callers. So this whole wall of weirdness and this determination to get your vision of strangeness out there to the world that really drives my love of public access, and why I turned public access hosts very lovingly into heroes.
This is not punching down. This is like elevating the genre of public access. This is like, you're the heroes.
Yeah. I don't like silly. I like funny. This isn't like a poke at these people. This is really giving them their spotlight. I I love their carefree, devil may care. I don't care if people are going to critique my weirdness. I'm going out there and I'm performing. And that always struck me, even as a kid, even though a lot of times I was the one making the prank phone call to the public access station.
And they often developed like a cult following,
Sure.
if I understand correctly, that people will tune in, and it's actually probably very much like social media, where the authentic self, and like you can't help but love the passion that people bring to the game. And speaking of the passion, Joey Royale, station manager here, you have been also involved with another person named Dr. X, who has been, is he a host of one of these niche shows?
We're not really sure who Dr. X is yet. He has been working with the Weird Heroes of Public Access and with the station manager. The station manager and Dr. X are strikingly similar looking. I think they'd share some genetics. But he has been taken on as an associate of the station with his new show called Unknown Mysteries of Legend, which people have only seen kind of trailers of. But he will have his own release soon. We have, at the station at WHPA, have been working with our friends from the other role-playing game, our friends in Philadelphia who created Don't Tell Mom and Dad. That's a great role-playing game, kind of a kids on bike style thing.
Yeah.
And they're actually going to be coming out with a Dr. X VHS release very soon.
Awesome. And for those that have not seen Don't Tell Mom and Dad, I had Ted and Ben up. I'll put the link up above in the notes because they've been guests on the show and they talked about their game. And so the cover, if I go back there for a sec, that has a striking similarity to Don't Tell Mom and Dad as far as the art goes.
You have a great eye. This is also by the artist of their book, Hayden Hall, who goes by Six Slice on social media. He's an incredible Philadelphia artist, visual artist. He's a video artist, and he himself is a public access host. And I said, Hayden, when you do this, I need you front and center. So you will see him. He is the one holding the candelabra. That is his alter ego, Luther Vandross, from Luther's Mid-Fright Snack. So it's all coming full circle here. We have a real live public access host who did the cover art and is featured on the cover amongst some other imaginary friends that we kind of crafted together.
Wow. Life imitating art and art imitating life. It's a perfect mix.
The boundaries are starting to become blurred between Joey Royale, Dr. X, and Weird Heroes of Public Access. And it's that kind of blurriness is catching on with some followers too. So it's kind of neat. A neat community has burgeoned from this experience.
And let's kind of flip through some of the pages here. And this is from the original zines. And just to give people a sense of the style of the game. And I absolutely love it. It's kind of like you're at the laundromat. You come across a brochure and, hey, it's a role-playing game on top of that. Yeah.
They say necessity is the mother of invention. I didn't design it this way to be cool. I don't know, nor do I have the ability to afford InDesign or any of that. This is GIMP. This is public domain. And this is Microsoft Publisher. I do all my work on Publisher. And that page right there that you see, those are actual ads from my hometown newspaper. They've been, I've manipulated them a little bit, but both the back door, the shrimp boat, the family bowl, pizza pipes and pandemonium, those are all real things that I grew up with in town.
Wow. And the mysteries abound in a small town. Like, how many mysteries can actually exist in such a small town?
Too many. Enough to make at least 8 zines, but they keep on coming. It's that darned full moon that keeps on making these things pop out. There's also X-Tech, which is some sort of strange company, some corporate structure in Fairhaven behind high, fences that nobody really knows what they're doing or experimenting on, but those things are leaking out as well.
And who do we see on the screen here to the left of us?
This is our beloved Sherman Glimp, who Sherman started out. Now, if we go back to the beginning of WHPA, it was started as just a mail order zine at the beginning of COVID, just the core rules. And then every month for anybody who had bought the core rules, I kept a list of their addresses like a creep. And I would send them something every month. And one of the early releases was an obituary for this NPC that I threw together. His name was Sherman Glimp. So he came with an obituary, and I had some prayer cards made. And so you'd get that in an envelope, and it had a crypto quote on it that if you solved it, you would find out that something was amiss, that Sherman wasn't actually dead. It just kind of caught on. I like the way he looked. He, to me, visually really represents Fairhaven. He had a store, like an old computer shop called Glimp Bites, and ran one of the first bulletin board services in Fairhaven. So, one of us, a nerd from back in the day who definitely probably rolled dice. And so he just became kind of like, people would joke about him. Hey, how's Sherman? So I gave him his own zine called The Life, Death, and Undeath of Sherman Glimp, which was a different project for me because most of these early zines were just adventure prompts, one article out of a weekly world news or a tabloid. I devoted a whole zine to fleshing out an adventure for Sherman Glimp in which he is trying to defend Fairhaven against a vampire lord. And although he puts up a good fight, he himself gets turned into a vampire, but he's a vampire for good. And before he turns to the dark side completely, you have to help him defeat the vampire lord and hopefully find a cure for him. So
I think we should have said some spoiler alerts there. But anyways, I think most people buying this don't care. They just want to play the game, even if they know exactly what's going on.
Sherman lives.
And so there's all sorts of, there's a note from the station manager, yourself, Joey Royale, and some of the shows. And there's a Sherman's prayer card there. And it's just kind of just a fun kind of dive into the station itself and all the fun happenings and all the different shows that are happening there. Hank's Hullabaloo. And I mean, everybody hates a clown, right?
Yeah, especially that kind of clown. Yeah.
And so there's all kind of Easter eggs. If people like go in there, they're like just seeing the zine itself or any of the ads, that's enough of a adventure hook for you to kind of jump in for an adventure. Why don't you tell us about the rules of it, just so that people get an understanding about how they actually play the game?
I built these rules. I mean, they're nothing revolutionary, but I wanted something where there was still you had to roll dice when you're telling the story, but I wanted something really. I wanted something that my wife and her friends who are not gamers could sit down and play, tell a story, and have fun. But I also wanted something for cons when I am playing with gamers that could, they realize it's a game. So it's a basic D6 pool system. So depending on what kind of show you have, whether it be a show about spirituality, a fitness show, horror host show, you get a certain number of points to put into one of four traits: mind, mouth, body, and soul. And, depending on your specialty and where you put your points, you get to roll that many D6. And a 5 or a 6 is a success. And if you roll all 6s in a pool, you unlock a superpower, which is we're not talking X-Men level mutant power. We're talking like minor pyromancy or the ability to levitate maybe 3 feet off the ground, minor superpowers that are still a big deal in a small suburban town.
I love the world news, or should I say the Fairhaven world news. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to love flipping through those as a kid. I remember thinking dinosaurs were real because they discovered dinosaurs.
I ate that
in the South American continent. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Loch Ness Monster in full view at least once a month, sometimes with Elvis Presley riding on top. But yeah. Yeah. Once again, I love putting the ads in there. This is great. What you're looking at right here, 13 this week. This is by my friend Tim Snyder, who's done a lot of work in the Dungeon Crawl Classics world. This has begun to, third parties have been putting out some really cool stuff that's inspiring to me. And this is one of them that came out. So really, really, I'm inspired and humbled by the work that my friends are coming out with to support Fairhaven too.
Well, let's get into the actual backer kit launch. And most people watching this now, they may have missed out, but tell us about this patch.
So if you supported Weird Heroes of Public Access within the first 48 hours, you got this Weirdathon sponsor patch. And my good friend Brian Shutter of Neon Lords of Toxic Wasteland, he just he helped me design this. He had his real graphic design skills. This wasn't one of my cut and paste jobs. I needed something with a little bit more finesse. So this is you're going to get an actual woven patch for your hat or bag if you backed within the first 48 hours. And really, that's all I had. I was just hoping to make the initial goal. I was hoping to get funded. I was crossing my fingers because I had never used backer kit before. I had never had a high goal. And so that's where I was. And so I've been scrambling like a nut to try and to get more stretch goals as we keep on going up. It's nuts.
Okay, so tell us what was stretch goal number 1 here.
This is what I was psyched about, and this is one I did actually plan. This is called We All Have Secrets, and these are contributions. Only the station manager is only going to do the introductory letter like he does for all the zines, but the rest of the content is all going to be submissions from my creator friends. So we have Tim Deshen, the guy that had played, that ran my first DCC game ever, has been a huge supporter. We did my first product ever was with Tim, and that was One of Us, the sideshow world for DCC. So Tim Deshen, we got Levi Combs of Planet X. My homeboy Levi's back in the saddle. John Hambone McGuire from the Vintage RPG podcast and 321 Action, and he's got a backer kit coming out soon. He's amazing. We got Ben Dr. Metal Grimes, who is from the Pizza Party and a great inspiration for me. He keeps me up to date with all the comic book stuff. Geez, who else I got? Just recently added, we have Brian Quartermarch, who is he's a guy I play with every Sunday, who is a real New Englander who really gets some of the 70s, 80s references there. He does a lot of stuff for Call of Cthulhu. He's written for them. So he's joining us. Ian McGarty. Oh, I love Ian McGarty. He's going to be doing some cartography, which has never been done before. And then the Lich from his stream shop, the dungeon. What is it? Dungeon. The Lich's Dungeon. He's going to be doing some stuff too. So I'm very excited. They're all going to be in this book. This is shaping up to be over 40 pages. This is going to be a small book. I could barely call it a zine anymore. It's getting fat.
And you mentioned cartography. I was going to ask you, is there an official map of Fairhaven?
There is not. And there never will be coming from me, because I really, really want Fairhaven to be everybody's town. And I say this all the time. I probably said it last time I was on, but in the 48 states, in almost every 48 states, continental, there is a town or county or street called Fairhaven, because I want this to be a universal experience for everybody that plays it. I want you to, in the beginning of the game, in all my games, to say, all right, name a business or a location that's in town, because I want people to build it with the memories of when they were kids, like the magazine shop or the VHS shop or the Radio Shack, those places that aren't really around anymore. I want everybody to pepper it in. But Ian did a great map of some woods, which I think is, that can be canon, because it's a little bit wild card.
Cool. And then stretch goal number 2, the dice.
So yes, this is stretch goals like 2 through 4. So like I said, this was a last minute, oh no, I need stretch goals. And everybody loves dice. And I wanted to commemorate some of the iconic imagery and characters of WHPA. So your first one that we unlocked was the golden D6 of the station manager. And that's the one with the 13 right there. And then, of course, we had to unlock the bloody D6 of Sherman Glimp. And then the corrupt cube, the corrupt corporate cube of X-Tech. That's their logo right there. And just yesterday, last night, All right. Somebody pledged $9 so we could cross over the hump and unlock the D6 of the little bastards. And the little bastards are the the perennial juvenile delinquent gang that terrorize the hosts, the public access hosts, the Weird Heroes. But they also have their own zine now, Godspeed You Little Bastards, where you actually have to defend them. I'm not going to spoil that because that's a pretty deep conspiracy that they're going to have to dig into more.
And then we already talked about this week.
Yeah.
And finally, stretch goal number 4-ish, an autographed picture of the station manager Joey Royale.
My wife shook her head in disgust at this one, but this was not my idea. All right, this was not my idea. But you do get a postcard size autographed, individually autographed postcard of Joey Royale as the station manager that you can put up on your mantle. So, yes, that was a request. That was not me pushing my picture autograph on anybody.
And actually, it's not the final either. Here's number 5. Tell us about that.
I'm psyched about this. Now, I don't know how this is going to actually manifest, but it will be of some sort of physical manifestation of this. But this is for you, the backers, to contribute to the mythology and heroism and locations of Fairhaven. So if you back at any level, there is on the backer kit page a link to a Google Doc where you first can submit your weird hero. So you turn yourself into a public access host where you say your public access host name and the show that you host. And then also you can submit an image of a classified personal or advertisement that will be placed on a piece of paper and sent out to everybody. I really want this to be an interactive experience.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. I'm going to put the backer kit right on the screen so everybody can see. You're currently at 27,000 and maybe some future stretch goals if we can like bump it up if like this catches fire and then people are like learning about it. Why wouldn't you support this? This is like exactly what role-playing games should be. I think a lot of fun, a lot of nuance, and a lot of passion, just like the hosts of the shows that you're playing. You bring that to the world of role-playing game, Joy.
Thank you.
Absolutely love it. So
I want to share one more thing if I could. There is
Sure.
a level. There is a backer level where you get not only you get the book, but you get 2 zines that are out of print, The Life and Death and Undeath of Sherman Glimp. And I think I added another one on there. But no, you get that. And I will hand paint you an original manifestation. There was a rare meaning not too many people bought it, but that's okay because it was really weird. Supplement called the June Manifestations, where I came up with like 1 or 2 sentence adventure hooks, and I did one painting for 30 days of these kind of things that manifested in a somebody's television and gave them secrets. So if you back at that level, I got stacks of these that I've been working on every night. I think I overdid it with that stretch goal. I didn't think too many people were going to buy it, but I'm making tons of these now, so that's fun too. But but to your point, this is about community. I was very isolated during COVID. That's not how I live my life. So I really wanted to make a role-playing game that built a community that got all the weird kids, as I say, out of the basements and into the streets. And looks like 527 people understand that, and I'm very appreciative of that and humbled.
Well, I absolutely love it. And when does the VHS going to land? Is that a future backer kit?
That's probably going to be a future backer kit. I'm going to be meeting up with Ben pretty soon. We're going to Arcane Con in early November in Northampton, Massachusetts, and we're going to talk business. I'm bringing my briefcase. He's bringing his briefcase, and we're going to figure out when Dr. X is exposed to the world.
And for those that have not seen Dr. X in action, Joey's got a really good Instagram with some really good reels of Dr. X as well as TikTok. So go check those out. You can learn about Fairhaven and all the unique mysteries that are in there. And I think it's an incredible product. I've already backed it. You should too. I think it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to get it in my hands. And I hope to see even more stretch goals if we can just keep getting those numbers higher for you.
Send me ideas. I need ideas for stretch goals. What do you want? Oh, the beer koozie. We got a drink koozie that's been unlocked too.
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go. So we are unlocking left and right, and we are going to push this thing over 100K. That's my prediction. Once this catches on, it's going to be 100K. And we got one last comment. And I couldn't agree more. What Joey does for the community is beyond epic. So
Thank
amazing.
You, Mr. Foote. I appreciate that. You've always been a great friend. Thank you.
Joey, thanks for coming on. Best of luck with the rest of the Kickstarter backer kit. I can't even keep track anymore. But anyways, everybody, the links are in the show notes in the description. Go there and back this great product and support your indie game designers. And if you are an indie game designer and you want to get on the show here that you see Joey on today, go to daikugames.com/gamepitch, and there's a form to fill out there, and just provide some details about your game, and we'll get you on here and tell them Game Pitch Gary sent you.
Hey friends, are you looking for a game that is not Dungeons or Dragons? Well, we got exactly what you need at Daiku Game Pitch. We got zines, we got OSR, we got adventures. But wait, there's more. We got solo games, we got journaling games, we even got card games and dice games. Oh hell, I don't even know what kind of game this is, but we got it. And if you visit us in the next 2 minutes, you're gonna get all the Zine Quest, Zine Months, Itch Fund, and Backer Kits Kickstarters that you can handle. Visit us at www.daikugames.com and tell them a Game Pitch Gary sent ya.